Helen, have you, talked to her about the way things are?
Years ago.
Years?
Tonight, I would like to read to you from the book of Genesis, chapter 19, which, as most of you know, is the story of Sodom and Gomorrah.
All right, everybody, welcome back to a sweet, sweet episode of Citizen Frame. Woo! I'm joined with the usual band of misfits, Trevor and Nuala.
Hey, hey.
Good to be here.
And you're probably thinking, wow, that intro is really rushed. Kieran's usually got some cool little spin, some kind of side story. Well, I figured, what the fuck? This writer or director didn't have no good spin or some fucking writing going on in this piece of shit.
Oh,
the same director of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Wonderful.
And also the Three Musketeers, the early 90s one with Kiefer Sutherland and stuff, Charlie Sheen.
My dream boat, Kiefer Sutherland.
His name is Stephen Herrick. I like his stuff when he was growing up. Don't Tell Mom Babysitter's Dead, Bill and Ted's. My big one is The Mighty Ducks.
Oh, yes. I haven't seen that in so long.
Yeah.
Emilio Estevez, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's like a hockey game or something, or a hockey
Ice hockey, yep.
There's a miniseries now on The Mighty Ducks. Throughout the cast is back.
Oh, nice. Where are they showing that?
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. I haven't seen it yet. My other half is a big ice hockey fan, so if he doesn't already know, I'll let him know. He'll love that.
Yeah, Emilio is back.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a nostalgia. I haven't watched that one in years myself, but the problem is they made like 3 more of them.
Well, that's
I remember it at the time, but I don't think I've actually ever seen it. I may have.
Check
years
it out.
ago.
It's a feel-good watch, man.
Yeah, it's one of those, Bad News Bears kind of film, but nice. But today we're talking Critters, the 1986. People say it's a ripoff of Gremlins. I say it's just a ripoff.
Well,
it's not a ripoff of Gremlins. I have to say,
it was written before Gremlins.
It was written. Yeah,
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Don't believe it. Okay, I don't believe it. I think they're all liars. Now, this film never was a cult hit. This actually was a little hit. It made 13 million on a $2 million budget, which was very reasonable.
Very successful.
Yeah, big time.
Again, this is the second going for a little known, very small, unknown studio called New Line Cinema. And New Line just hit one out of the park with a little film called Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh,
so
correct.
Robert Shea followed that up with another little horror, which would be Critters. And another little hit, and it snowballed from there. And then, obviously, sequels from Freddy turned New Line into a golden giant. So, Critters spawned quite a few sequels. One starring Leonardo DiCaprio himself.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just quickly...
Isn't Jennifer Aniston in one of them?
Oh, Leprechaun, she's in.
That was Leprechaun. What are you talking about, man?
Yes, of course.
Leprechaun.
I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah. Well, you're not
You're
far
proving
off.
Kieran's point here.
Yeah, thank you. Keep in mind, you probably already know, people, that these two are going to love Critters because it has no story, no plot, nothing going for it. And again, they thought, and I quote, I'll re-edit it if I have to, they said that Slumber Party Massacre was the new Shawshank Redemption. So, these guys...
It's a hit.
So,
Slumber Party Massacre is the greatest story ever told.
Gone with the wind. What's that?
If you've only ever read one story, that it's Slumber Party Massacre.
Story never told.
Yeah.
All right, so...
Starring a load of 50-year-old women.
Let's talk about a couple... It's not much to talk about with Critters, okay? But the basic of the film is there's this meteorite prison, and they're transporting... Is it Krites?
Yeah.
Crits,
yes.
Krites or Crits to this prison island. They end up escaping and going to Earth, and 2 bounty hunters are sent to get them. And this whole place takes place in a little farm town. Okay, there's the plot. There you are.
Yep.
So, the beginning, we obviously see the escape.
Yeah.
Here's the film's biggest fucking flaw. And I don't know, we only had a $2 million budget. Fuck off. This is what you do. You have a $2 million budget. You don't do visual effects like this.
Oh, I quite like them.
I like the visual
guys,
effects.
Stop.
And the monster makeup.
Oh my.
Yeah.
What is that? First of all, both of you, can I please? I'm getting upset now.
Yes.
There's a difference between visual effects and makeup. So I didn't say anything about makeup.
That's why I said
no. I
the creature makeup.
I didn't say makeup. I actually thought the makeup was folk. Listen, the visual effects in this opening scene were worse than Ed Wood films. And I don't care.
They weren't that bad.
Stop. Stop in your tracks right now, Trevor, and put yourself on mute.
Agree to disagree. Folks.
Oh my God! Don't you be there? Don't be that person. Don't be that person.
I've seen more. I've seen worse.
Oh yeah, so have I. I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it back in like the 19. Listen, you're giving it two. This is what, and this is not just this film. This is most films in general. If you're given a $2 million budget, you focus on the alien, like on the alien ship. You can get away with that. But when you're trying to show spaceships flying, and it looks like something from Doctor Who in the 70s, it is horrible. It is disgraceful and embarrassment. Trevor, I'm going to go off right now. I'm going to finish this one because I am so angry right now. We got Tron, Star Wars, The Last Starfighter, all these other films. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, the budget was bigger, so they had a little more time to work on your visual effects. But if you know you're going to put out this shit, and I'm talking people, it is horrendous to the point where you're not laughing, you're just offended. They should have cut this all out and just focus on the aliens talking to each other on the ship. That's what they should have done. This ruins the entire film.
Can I jump in there a second? I just want to say that I actually grew up with Doctor Who in the late 70s and early 80s with all the sort of cheap special effects and, men in monster suits and, aliens made out of, fucking tinsel and all that sort of shit. And I have to say, stuff like that and with Critters, to me, adds to the charm. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's like, loving Ed Wood, films and stuff, because of that tackiness and the sort of naffness. But, that's all part of the charm and the fun for me.
What they're doing is
B-movie. I love B-movie.
Yeah, and this is a
classic
fucking B-movie type.
They were just using that as an excuse to put out shit.
No, I quite like it.
It worked for me. I suspended my imagination. I was right there in those fucking, in outer space with them.
That wasn't outer space. That was somebody's closet.
Well, here, friggin' Star Trek was made in a Hollywood basement. You know what I mean? With a backdrop and some spaceships on sticks.
Star Trek had better special effects than this.
Oh, not necessarily.
No, not the original series.
The original series.
Not the original series
has better visual effects than this movie does. And you can sit there and argue me on that one? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Watch Star Trek. That has the opening credits to Star Trek have more going for it.
The opening credits look great in Star Trek, but there was some other examples, and I've been rewatching a lot of the original series episodes of Star Trek recently. They're shown on the Horror Channel at tea time.
I'm absolutely shocked. So, you guys are sticking out for this.
Now, the opening credits for the original series of Star Trek look fantastic, still to this day, but some of the other special effects are a bit ropey.
I've just lost I'm done.
I think you're expecting a bit too much from silly space movie for kids.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it's not Shakespeare, but it's not meant to be Shakespeare.
Oh, yeah. It's not even Dr. Seuss. Listen, so these two bounty hunters are going after the aliens. Now, we talk about the visual effects, because there isn't any. But these guys says it's the new Titanic.
I don't rate Titanic, so
no, neither do I. I think it's shit.
That's true. Okay,
Critters is much better.
Yeah, I'd rather watch Critters.
I actually, well, okay, I'll give you that one. What the movie has going for it is the makeup effects.
Big time.
I do like the creature effects, and I do like the scene where the bounty hunters they have to mold their faces.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
Somebody from whatever. They're watching T.J. Hooker. They have to mold themselves into T.J. Hooker.
That is Johnny Steele, I'll have you know.
Yeah, Johnny Steele.
The
Johnny Steele, yeah. Like the only song that is on the radio right now is Johnny Steele. Well, then.
With his mullet.
Which they kind of play on that one for a while, that he's this famous guy. They don't really use it to that. They kind of... The little kid says something about, oh, you're Johnny Steele.
Yep.
But that's it.
Yeah, they should have played it up a bit more.
Yeah, they should have played that up a bit more. It could have been funnier. But
had the sister, oh my God, it's Johnny Steele. You know what? Like, I've always loved you. They should have done that.
But the molding part of the face and stuff was pretty gory and pretty cool.
It was.
So if there's a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
What other compliment do I have? Oh, yes. Yes. By casting the great Dee Wallace. You guys probably agree. Dee Wallace from The Howling to E.T.
Cujo.
Critters, Cujo.
Mm-hmm.
Her career until, sadly, her husband, her name was Dee Wallace Stone. Her husband died suddenly. So she kind of retired for a while. That's why she disappeared.
Yeah.
But I've loved Dee Wallace.
Oh, she's great.
She's like my Jamie Lee. She's always the good mom who always put on a good fear face, especially Cujo.
Yeah.
And she does it well in this one. They try to do.
Speaking of Titanic, Billy Zane is in there as well.
Another one of my dream boats. Speaking of Titanic, he is brilliant. I love Billy Zane.
Yeah, I like him as well. Yeah,
This film tries to kind of reverse the Spielberg element. You know how you got the family and you always have the family dog, and they always have these these big like Poltergeist and E.T. and all these big scenarios or scenes with the family and how they get along. Now, the one plus in this side is that the daughter is a whore, which I like because usually
she's not squeaky clean.
Yes, usually it's the guy who's trying to get in her pants.
It's funny that you say that too, because whenever I was watching it and she stole the keys and all, and she was like, no, if you want them, you have to come and get them. And I was like, reverse the roles here. If the guy was holding the girl hostage of her car keys, this would have been a real sinister scene. But you get away with it because it's her,
Yeah.
I just like the fact that they changed it up a little bit to where, the stereotype of the young teenager.
Yeah. I actually laugh whenever the mom Jay asks Helen, have you had the conversation with her yet? And she's like, yeah, years ago. And he's like, years? And his face is like, oh. It made me laugh.
But I mean, there's a lot of sort of Americana tropes in there, that were sort of typical of films of that, especially horror films of that era. Like the small town, the know-it-all kid, that sort of thing, the sheriffs, the sort of village idiot type character, that sort of thing. But it all worked really well for me.
Oh my God.
It feels a bit comic booky.
Yeah, I mean, you get exactly what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
It does have a real charm.
Do not open. Get it? Okay. The best actor was the cat. Chewie. He's the best actor. So you got this family element, and obviously the critters are pretty much attacking the farm, and they're trying to defend themselves. Now, the sister's a whore and a bitch. Let's get that out of the way right now. Didn't like her at all. And a horrible human being. She gets her little brother in trouble anytime she could. Anytime he's getting yelled at or in trouble for something he really didn't do, she's got that smirk.
That's growing up with siblings, though, because I remember, like, if my sister was being silly or talking or whatever, my mum would have shouted at me, and I'd be like, it wasn't me, and Sinead would be like, laughing, just be silly things, because that's what you do with your siblings.
I thought that, it's
quite natural and quite real.
Crap.
Even though thought that the little boy looks like he was adopted. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, because, I think it did the sibling rivalry very well, and realistic too, Definitely.
Okay. Well, that's cool. I'm glad you get.
And the wee boy.
Glad you guys want us to get Oscars. That's great.
Here's an obscure reference for you. The wee boy looks like the Gaunch, who was a character from Grange Hill in the 1980s. When I used to watch it as a kid.
Yeah.
And people should tell me. Apparently, I look like the Gaunch. So I must look like this kid then when I was 13.
That's great.
But without the ginger hair.
I don't know what that is.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's a
Grange Hill was a gritty sort of kids series about a sort of inner city high school, and it dealt with sort of real life sort of issues like drugs and bullying and Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The kid's done well. He's had a massive film career.
Steve.
Yeah.
He voices Steve in American Dad, which is class.
He's also in the new Star Trek.
Oh, is he actually?
There's a few Star Trek actors there.
Felix, Ethan Phillips.
Yeah, Ethan Phillips plays the cop.
Yeah, that's right.
You've got a lot of in Billy the father, Billy Ray Bush, I believe his name is. He's a character actor, but he's they got a good cast.
Yeah,
the acting was okay. Emmett Walsh is always nice to see. I think he's wasted in it. He's barely in it.
Yeah.
And so I mean, this is his first time directing, Stephen Herrick. So it's got glimpses of something, but I think he kind of got lost in the shuffle. Things got lost in the shuffle here. There's a couple funny scenes. Do you guys remember? So the two aliens come down and they're walking around looking for their little critters, and they go into a church, and the preacher goes, "Today we're going to talk about Sodom and Gomorrah." And there's an old lady in the front, so she starts giggling.
Yeah,
that's so me.
Yeah.
But and then obviously chaos assumes inside when they show up. But I thought that was a pretty funny scene.
It is fun.
Yeah.
The critters themselves are pretty cool effects. They look like really what do you call it? Triffids? Trifles?
Tribbles?
Tribbles.
Yeah. They do look like tribbles or tiny Langoliers. They're little shits, whatever they are anyway.
But they're little spikes. They're poison darts at the far right.
Yeah, so that's what I don't get. It's inconsistency here. So obviously the family gets surrounded. There's 7 of them, I believe.
Oh,
and the dad gets eaten pretty much alive 12 times in this thing. And
I'm surprised there's any of them left.
Yeah, and he gets shot with the poison dart. The mom gets shot, but it's just a paralysis.
Yeah,
because they only got shot with one of them. Is that what they say? Otherwise, if they got shot with more of them, they would have died.
Just it paralyzes you until the needle comes out. So it might be poisonous, but they didn't say it was fatal.
I don't think they're deadly.
Okay, so it stuns you so they can attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then eat you. That's my understanding of it, but it's not made completely clear.
Okay. Well, the dad gets his ass ripped, torn to shreds. Gotta love him, but figured he'd be dead by now. He's bleeding everywhere.
Yep.
There's not
Billy Zane. He bites a bullet quite early, I believe, as well.
There's only 2 deaths in this film, and Billy Zane is one of them. He gets it when he's getting raped by the daughter. And
on the Beals' head.
There's actually a wee funny thing where whenever the ship crashes and they're in the barn, the girl goes, "Oh, the earth moved," and he's like, "What, already?"
Yeah.
And that made me laugh. It's like something as a kid you wouldn't pick up on, but as an adult you get it, So I like that they have wee bits like that in this movie.
Yeah,
the scene that always sticks out for me when I first watched this as a kid is the scene with the shotgun blowing the shit out of the critter, and the other one then says "fuck an alien," and there's a subtitle. Yeah. I remember really killing myself laughing at that as a kid.
Yeah. Oh my God, they have weapons.
Fuck.
He's like, so what?
Yeah.
And he blows the other one up. He says, fuck. That's a funny line.
Yeah.
You swear, that's funny. It could be any movie. If you swear, I'm going to laugh.
Yep.
Yeah, but when you're watching that at like 10, 11 years old, I thought it was hilarious.
Yep.
But I still have quite a childish sense of humor, so it works for me.
What you guys think of the whole scene? I'm sure you thought it was Oscar-nominated scene, but of the bowling alley scene when the 2 hunters get after the kind of little chaos, didn't hurt anybody, but a little chaos in the church. Mm-hmm. They then go to the bowling alley. An absolutely embarrassing scene, but what you guys think?
Yeah, that didn't bother me. I mean, that was I genuinely felt that worked for me okay. Mm. So
it was quite chaotic, and you kind of felt that come across because these 2 weirdos come in, cause a fuss. One of them throws a bowling ball like it's nothing and breaks the pins.
Yeah.
And your guy's line, can he be in our team? That made me laugh, and the kind of chaos of the whole situation plays through well in it.
Yeah, I didn't mind that scene at all. And I like the little reference to Ghostbusters on their T-shirts as well.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we're talking about how he's portraying this famous rock star they kind of promote during the film, and they could have really used this time to play on that.
Yes, I agree with that.
Autographs and
it's a bunch of old dudes though who go bowling. Well, this is the 80s, so it's not like they wouldn't have been Johnny Steele's fans.
Yeah.